Hey there, COM3023. My name is Kyle, and we're going to be talking about verbal expressions today. What do you know about verbal expressions? Well, today we're going to be using a series of on-screen verbal expressions along with the fantastic spoken words of your narrator to help inform you and persuade you to entertain others with your own verbal expressions. Ready to get started? Here we go. Let's start with some definitions. What are verbal expressions? Let's break it down. Verbal communication is the use of words to convey a message. This includes both written and oral. But remember, this is only the words, so things like tone and rate of speech are not included. Expressions, surprisingly, according to Google, are the process of making something known. Our textbook defines verbal expressions as the things that help us communicate our observations, thoughts, feelings, and needs. But I think a better definition would be the process of making something known using words that convey a message. I think this definition fits more broadly in the general use of the term, but the textbook clearly defines the 4 types of verbal expressions, so let's talk about those. There are 4 types of verbal expressions: observations, thoughts, feelings, and needs. Let's talk more about those. The first type of verbal expressions covered by the book are observations. Observations are reports of sensory experiences or memories. Some examples are, Pauline asked me to bring this file to you, or the sky is blue. These seem like pretty simple statements, but what makes these observations? The book brings up eyewitness testimonies as a good example of observations. Observations don't include any judgments or conclusions, and they only include factual knowledge as it was experienced. We aren't introducing any interpretation at this stage, we're just providing facts. From observations, the book moves into the second type of verbal expressions, which are thoughts. Thoughts are conclusions and judgments of experiences and observations. These move past flat facts and provide personal conclusions or judgments from whatever has been observed or experienced. Some examples are, students today have much less respect for authority, or I like the sky. Thoughts are connected to our beliefs, whether something is true or false, our attitudes, whether you or someone likes or dislikes something, and our values, whether something is right or wrong, or good or bad. If I gave you a particular topic you're familiar with, you could very likely tell me whether you like that topic or not based on your prior experience with it. That's all these type of verbal expressions are. From thoughts, the textbook moves on to our feelings. Feelings are how we communicate emotions. Some examples are, I feel at peace when we're together, which you may say after getting a new boyfriend or girlfriend or partner. Or maybe, I feel sick when I see them together after you break up. And then maybe, I'm ecstatic about going to the concert next week when you finally get over it. The book highlights that feelings are often the most difficult form of verbal expression to handle, and that's for a number of reasons. Norms vary from nation to nation as well as by cultural identity, such as gender or age. The norms for expressing emotions as a North American male in his 50s versus being a 20-something female in Japan versus maybe a young adult male in the Middle East are very likely to vary. Expressing feelings can also be uncomfortable for those listening. Were you at all affected internally when I was just talking about getting into a new relationship, breaking up, and then getting over it? Most people sort of come along for the ride with these emotions, which can be unwelcomed in a lot of situations. However, emotion sharing is an important part of creating social bonds, which is why we should devote time to expressing them better. The most prevalent point or tip the book provides to do this is building our emotional vocabulary. The bluntest reason given in our text is that higher specificity in our language means less ambiguity or chance for misinterpretation for the listener. What if I was trying to say that I felt slightly uneasy when I said sick earlier, but the listener interpreted that I was suicidal based on my language? That could definitely cause some turmoil. Finally, there are instrumental needs, which the book just calls generally needs. Needs are stating our wants or our requests for help and support. Expressing that you're saving money for summer vacation or that you need $5 to order some pizza are some simple example of needs. The word instrumental comes up semi-frequently in our text, so I wanted to make this pretty simple to understand. It just means something that is an instrument to getting things done. One area of the text I thought was interesting about needs is what happens when we chronically do not express our needs. We can end up feeling abandoned, frustrated, or resentful. Do you take the time to express your needs to others? If you don't, do you find yourself feeling these things? All right, so that's the breadth of what our text has to say about the 4 types of verbal expressions. Here are some key points to keep in mind. Verbal expressions fill our instrumental needs by asking questions and providing information, or describe things, people, or ideas. Verbal expressions are essential to us forming personal relationships, and overall are designed to help us inform, persuade, and entertain others. After all, are you not entertained by this message? I've hoped to help you remember some key concepts behind the verbal expression. Now, get out there and inform, persuade, and entertain your own audiences. Ta-ta for now.